creators of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. 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 If we care enough.
I thought I loved you so. I thought I loved you so.
Friday edition of Areva Martin in real time. Let's get you caught up. Donald Trump's federal election interference trial in Washington, D.C. will no longer begin on March 4th. Judge Tanya Chutkan wrote in a court order released today, it is unclear when the trial will now start. Chutkan's ruling comes as the D.C. Circuit Court has not yet decided on whether Trump is immune from the prosecution. The elimination of the March 4th start date increases the chances that Trump's New York case involving allegations of hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels will be the next trial against Trump. That case is currently set to start on March 25th. Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis today acknowledged having a personal relationship with Special Prosecutor Nathan Wade, as Donald Trump and another co-defendant have sought to get them disqualified from the Georgia election interference case. In a 176-page filing, Willis seemed to respond to the allegations by stating that any personal relationship among members of the prosecution team does not amount to a disqualifying conflict of interest or otherwise harm a criminal defendant. European Union leaders yesterday reached a deal to provide €50 billion in aid to Ukraine, and they were in unanimous agreement after some leaders persuaded the sole holdout, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, to drop his veto. The European Council president said this locks in steadfast, long-term, predictable funding for Ukraine. The United States today carried out a series of military strikes against Iran-backed militants in half a dozen sites in Iraq and Syria, according to a U.S. Defense Department official, marking a sharp escalation of the war in the Middle East that the Biden administration has for 4 months sought to avoid. President Biden had promised to respond to a drone attack in Jordan on Sunday that killed 3 American soldiers and injured at least 40 more service members. The military action sought to send a message to Iran and the militias it backs that continued attacks on U.S. troops in the region and international ships in the Red Sea will draw a response. Far-right internet personalities and even a former Republican presidential candidate are spreading the notion that something is not quite right with Taylor Swift's relationship with Kansas City Chiefs star player Travis Kelce, and that somehow the Super Bowl is rigged, and it's all leading up to a swift presidential endorsement of Joe Biden. Swift was once famously politics-averse, but she inched into the arena in 2018 when she endorsed Tennessee Democratic Senate candidate Phil Bredesen, and then she backed Biden in 2020. That may have been the first time conservatives got sour on Swift, but in recent days, the right has seemingly launched a full-bore attack on her. Police are investigating the destruction of a life-size statue of Jackie Robinson, which was stolen from a park in Wichita, Kansas. Just after midnight on January 25th, vandals entered McAdams Park and cut the statue at its ankles. All that remained was a pair of bronze shoes standing on a base. The statue is worth an estimated $75,000. Surveillance footage of the theft shows at least 2 individuals removing the statue from its pedestal and placing it in the bed of a truck parked nearby. Police have not revealed what tools the thieves used to cut down the statue, Investigators have interviewed more than 100 people in connection with the crime and have encouraged the perpetrators to come forward. They also located and recovered the truck that was likely used to transport the statue. And lastly, Carl Weathers, the actor best known as Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies, and more recently for his role in the hit Star Wars series The Mandalorian, passed away yesterday in his sleep, according to his family. He was 76. Weathers got his big break in 1976 when he landed the role of Creed in Rocky. He continued his role in 3 other Rocky movies. Weathers also landed parts in 1987's Predator, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, in Adam Sandler's Happy Gilmore in 1996, and on the small screen in The Mandalorian. Weathers was also the voice for Combat Carl in Toy Story 4 and other shorts in the beloved Disney Pixar franchise. He played Action Jackson in 1988. He also earned comedy cred by playing a bizarro version of himself in the cult sitcom Arrested Development. Other TV acting credits include Law & Order, Special Victims Unit, Magnum P.I., and Chicago PD. Before his decades-long acting career took off, Weathers saw success on the gridiron. He played collegiately at San Diego State University and then played professionally for the Oakland Raiders. He retired from the sport in 1974 to seriously pursue acting. So, when we come forward, we're going to be talking to Dr. Raja Malika Rahim. In addition to being a social, cultural, and political historian of African American history and United States history, she also focuses on sport history, including contemporary sports culture and politics. So we're going to talk to Dr. Rahim about this Jackie Robinson statue incident and how it has historical significance and why people would even want to do it. I mean, to me, I'm a sports fan. I'm a Dodger fan, and we all know that Jackie Robinson broke the color line in Major League Baseball, and a lot of people at the time had a problem with that. But I guess now he's universally recognized as a historical figure, but as a positive historical figure. But when things like this happen, it kind of shows that there are always going to be those racist people out there that just don't like people because they're black, or they don't like remembrances of black people. They don't like that just because. And we're going to talk to Dr. Rahim about that. And in the second half of hour 2, we're going to be talking to Keith Underwood about the Shannon Sharpe assertion that Beyonce would have never had the impact on the NFL that Taylor Swift had. There's a really well-written article by an attorney named Kamara Williams. I guess it was more of a Facebook post than an article, but he really gets into a lot of salient points, and we're going to talk about that at the back end of hour number 2. But first, Dr. Rahim, when we come forward right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's the real deal in real time. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do Black history every single day. In fact, as the only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi, we are Black history. Our annual Black History Month luncheon is fast approaching, and we want to be sure to give you ample time to get your company, organization, church, or group to join us at this year's celebration on the last day of the month, Thursday, February 29th at noon. Last year, we honored iconic local Black media personalities, including Pat Harvey, Jim Hill, Mark Brown, Beverly White, Sandy Banks, and Pat Prescott, and raised $20,000 in scholarships. This year, we're honoring Black Hollywood creatives who have used their artistic genius as climate justice champions. At this year's luncheon, we will be showcasing and sharing their inspiring work on our big screen. Plus, a scrumptious meal, live music, great company, and lots of fun with your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts. So contact us today at info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. That's info@smileyAudiomedia.com or call 323-290-4690. We hope to see you Thursday, February 29th as we close out Black History Month. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your Black.
Don't settle for bumps, ingrowns, and itch due to dry skin. Try Venus for pubic hair and skin, the razor and regimen specifically designed for your pubic area, featuring a razor with patented irritation defense bar and skincare regimen that is dermatologist and gynecologist tested. Venus helps protect your pubic skin from shave irritation. Discover the full regimen of products at GilletteVenus.com.
Some people just know the best places to eat around town. Those are the people who know to choose Allstate. They know exactly where to go to get exactly what you're wanting. They know where to find the spiciest hot pot, the gooeyest brownies, and the tenderest, most flavorful portobello steak. Those people also know that safe drivers save 40% with Allstate.
Saving 40% is based on the national average premium savings for all state auto customers with a clean driving record versus those without. Savings vary by state and vary based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
There's no time like the present. Let's get back to more of Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
And we're back on Areva Martin in real time, the Friday edition. And I am grateful to be joined by Dr. Raja Malika Rahim. She is a social, cultural, and political historian of African American history and United States history. She also focuses on sport history, including contemporary sports culture and politics. Dr. Rahim, it's been a while. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Grateful to have you on, especially for a discussion like this. So, you know, this news about the Jackie Robinson statue being abducted and then being found burned. What's your top line reaction to this situation?
Well, you know, it's disheartening that someone or people would feel the need to pretty much dismember this particular statue. And, you know, in them dismembering this statue is them dismembering the memory of Jackie Robinson and what he stood for, not only within sports, but to, you know, American history, United States history. So it's very disheartening to see this particularly take place. I am not surprised, though. It's just another attack on Black culture, Black life, Black experiences here in the United States. And pretty much the way it was handled, the actually cutting him off at the ankles and then moving the body, taking it from its original place, unwanted, and then burning the body. Is that not, you know, can we say that's a metaphoric lynching?
Yeah, that's a really good point, because, I mean, I didn't even think about it like that, but that's exactly what it was. I mean, they took the statue and then they burned it. That's what they used to. So this statue was erected in early 2021, and it's in Wichita, Kansas. And so Jackie Robinson is one of those figures that I feel like has become acceptable to white people over time. You know, during the time when he was breaking in with the Brooklyn Dodgers, obviously, you know, that was a very rough period for not only him but the entire country. And he faced a lot of opposition, and he had some white allies, but I mean, it seemed like the vast majority of white people were against him then, and obviously that's not the case now. I mean, his number is retired across all of Major League Baseball, not just with the Dodgers, but number 42 is not worn by anyone in Major League Baseball anymore because they retired it across the whole league. So I don't know. It's not surprising to me either, but it's just, I guess it's shocking, but not surprising, because you feel like he's one of those figures who kind of transcends that, who kind of has become acceptable to almost everyone over, you know, the last 60, 70 years since all that happened. But what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's going against, the narrative of the accepted one, right? The one that makes it, that breaks the barriers, that we can all accept one. But in reality, there is no true acceptance. And this is just that reminder that there are people who still have these ideas that are rooted in race and racism and hatred largely. And so the idea that we are buying into the Jackie Robinson narrative as we appreciate it is because often that narrative has been created by white America. It's a narrative that white America can accept because we often forget beyond the Jackie Robinson being passive within, the first few years of him reintegrating Major League Baseball, that was short-lived. Jackie Robinson did fight back. And even post-career, when we're thinking about him joining the civil rights movement, being a activist, a public activist, even after his career, Jackie Robinson spoke out against issues of race and spoke up on behalf of Black America and Black communities. And so I think that is still a memory that should be known and that some people do know that lives. And so he's a representation of that as well.
Yeah, and this is also someone who served in the United States military. He's a veteran.
Yes.
And he was drafted into the United States Army in 1942, stationed in Fort Riley, Kansas, with, by the way, heavyweight boxing great Joe Louis. And he was honorably discharged in 1944 following an ankle injury. And so this dude served his country. He went to UCLA, and he played in the Negro Leagues, and then he gets drafted by the Dodgers in 45. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm just can you talk more about the transformation he had? Because as you said, he was passive in that first couple of years because he had to be. And the owner of the Dodgers, Branch Rickey, was like, no, you can't fight back. And you watched the movie 42 with Chadwick Boseman, which Chadwick Boseman so incredibly brought Jackie Robinson to life, and a lot of those real situations that he went through. But I mean, obviously, in the course of a film, you're not going to see all that. But can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, Jackie Robinson was a dynamic figure, right? He was the one that was chosen out of Negro League Baseball to, again, reintegrate Major League Baseball. We have to remember that it was people like Fleetwood Walker, who was in baseball, in the late 19th, early 20th century before they drew the color line in baseball. So we see Jackie Robinson coming out of the Negro Leagues during this particular time, this post-war era in which, there are changes within race, within gender that is taking place, and Jackie Robinson is right in the midst of that, and he becomes one of those figures. But again, as I've stated previously, Jackie Robinson understood clearly what his role was, and he also had full autonomy and agency over his own body in the way he was willing to accept the role that was designed for him. So yes, Jackie Robinson, maybe we don't see it in all the movies, but he did fight back, on the field, not in the physical sense, but he did not just allow players who played against him to just continue to launch racial slurs at him during the game. And over time, his play and performance was enough to give him even more of a voice and a space in that particular sport to fight back, right? And just thinking about the Black athleticism that he brings to Major League Baseball is a statement within itself. The plays and the ability to make plays that Jackie Robinson brought in changed the culture of Major League Baseball in many ways. And so understanding him not only as a baseball player, but him understanding him as a full man, someone who understood his role and responsibility to his race, who still had experiences when traveling to Florida to prepare for the season, being separated from his teammates because of the color of his skin. So he still experiences those battles, but yet he, again, understood his role and responsibility to Black people and was committed to the civil rights struggle that started to take place within the United States during the later half of his career and after.
You brought up a really good comparison, comparing the definition of his statue to a modern day lynching, sort of. I mean, obviously it's a statue; it's not a real person, so the stakes aren't as high. But do you think that that kind of was the mindset of the? Obviously, we don't know who did it yet. And by the way, the law enforcement, Wichita, Kansas's chief of police, Joe Sullivan, said there will be arrests, but we're going to make sure that when we do, we will have a solid case. They've already interviewed 100 people, interrogated 100 people in their investigation. So, but I mean, can you talk about the kind of lynching him symbolically? I mean, and what that might do, what these perpetrators might have gained from that, because their truck was recovered, the truck they used to haul them away in, and I feel like once you recover someone's vehicle, it's a lot easier to find out who they are. And so
Right.
I think the Wichita chief of police isn't blowing smoke. I think they are gonna find these dudes, and when they do, they're gonna have to answer for what they did. But what was in it for them?
I'm honestly, I'm not going to try to use my logic to justify stupidity. And I'm not going to, give them more credit than what they deserve. I think it's just pure hatred. I think this is, if it's not hatred, it's a prank that went terribly wrong, is a dare that went terribly wrong. And that's me giving them the benefit of nice and actually being nice in doing so. But this is an act of hate. This is anti-Black hate that we are continuing to see play out in many forms within the United States. And it just so happens that Jackie Robinson's statue has now become a part of that. And especially being that it happened in January, considering what January has come to mean for the United States when we're thinking about race and politics and culture in the United States, but also few days before the start of Black History Month. So I think they knew exactly in taking and dismantling and, doing a metaphoric lynching of this statue, what kind of issues they would incite. And this is part of, in my opinion, in my educated opinion, small forms to spark some type of racial violence and a racial war in the United States.
Wow, I did not expect it to go there. What would you say to people who might say, "Oh, this is just a statue; it's not a big deal," or to those who, mostly on the Republican side, who say, "Well, racism doesn't exist in America," and even even go as far as, "Well, America has never been a racist country," but more specifically, that racism doesn't exist right now. What would you say? What would you say to people who fix their mouth to say things like that?
I think it's part of their larger political agenda. Because we as Americans, if we're honest, regardless of the color of your skin, your religion, your gender, sexuality preferences, we all can understand that we live in a racist and historically unequal society for not only Black people of color, but when we look at issues of gender, we are a highly problematic country that has been built on divisions of race, divisions of gender, and hence why we have ongoing issues of racism, sexism, and other isms in the United States. Currently, it's been historically embedded in the DNA of the United States, and until we as a country, we as our leaders actually admit to that history, that dark history, we won't be able to actually stand in the light and stand and walk in truth as we move forward.
So as of Friday, the GoFundMe campaign had raised more than $180,000 to replace the statue. Do you think that the response? What do you make of the response that people have had to? I'll get you out of here on this question. What do you make of the response that people have had to the defecation of Jackie Robinson's statue?
Yeah, I think it's a reminder that more Americans are fed up and tired of these acts of anti-Blackness that are taking place within the United States, and it's showing that people are willing to still, in many ways, join in the movement, right? Join in fighting back and pushing back against ideas and actions and of racism and white supremacy. There's enough money there to not only rebuild his statue, but maybe, actually, build a statue of his wife who went through that struggle with him, and to replace what has been destroyed. So I'm proud of people who have donated, because it speaks more to what actually matters, that this is that Jackie Robinson is a part of history, and that his story within the history of the United States actually matters, and people are recognizing it, and they are willing to put their money where their mouth is to actually see change happen and continue to happen.
Yeah, and actually Major League Baseball and its 30 clubs have said they will replace the statue. And it's the nonprofit League 42, which put up the statue in 2021, had posted it and called it amazing. But the Major League Baseball has said, you know what, we got it. We'll take care of it. We'll put it back up. So props to Major League Baseball for that. Dr. Raja Malika Rahim, how can we keep up with you online?
Please follow me on X at Raja Malika R. or on Instagram at Not Your Average Professor.
Appreciate you so much, Dr. Rahim. Thank you so much for that perspective, and always good to talk to you. And we'll talk to you again soon.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a good night.
You too. When we come forward, we will be talking to Keith Underwood about the Taylor Swift and Beyonce comparison that Shannon Sharp made. Was it appropriate? Was it correct? Was it incorrect? Was it necessary? Was it unnecessary? We'll get into all that after this news, traffic, and sports update right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
Areva time is the right time. More of Areva Martin in real time when we come forward.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Efforts to address gun violence in Chicago are expanding. Governor Pritzker was joined by Mayor Brandon Johnson and several other community and business leaders yesterday to introduce a plan called Scaling Community Violence Intervention for a Safer Chicago. The initiative has a goal of reducing shootings and murders in the city by 50% within 5 years. The SC2 plan is to raise $400 million through a public-private partnership and invest funds into community violence intervention groups. SZA is up for a Grammy Award on Sunday. If she wins Best Album for SOS, it will be the first time a black woman won the award since 1999. The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was the last album by a black woman to win that top prize. In addition, only 37 albums by 25 black women have been nominated for the Album of the Year since 1959. This includes Beyonce, Mariah Carey, and Ella Fitzgerald. That's the latest. I'm Tyreek Wynn on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Over in East LA, watch for an accident involving an overturn that has lanes temporarily blocked at times, and 3 right lanes are definitely blocked on the 10 West before City Terrace Drive, Herbert Avenue split. Right now, stop traffic is hitting up to 15-20 minutes from Atlantic Boulevard. Making our way through Long Beach, we've been talking about this on the 710 North on-ramp from PCH. A crash continues to have the on-ramp closed with a big rig on its side, causing stop traffic from Pico Avenue and Piers BCDE interchange. In Monterey Park, watch for a stall reported in lanes of the 710 North before Valley Boulevard, and a 10 to 15 minute traffic jam is currently running heavy from the 60 Pomona Freeway.
Nearly 3,000 teen drivers die in car crashes each year. Tire Rack Street Survival is designed to save lives. The one-day hands-on driving school gives teens experience in car control through exercises that include emergency braking and skid recovery. Find a class near you at TireRack.com/survive.
Is this the takeover? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
LeBron James' agent Rich Paul said LeBron will not be traded and has not asked the Lakers to trade him. Paul responded to a surge in conversations in the media lately that the Lakers might be better off trading the 21-year veteran. The NBA trade deadline is February 8th. As of Friday afternoon, the fundraising drive to replace the Jackie Robinson statue at a park in Wichita, Kansas, has reached more than $187,000 in donations. Jackie's statue was stolen last Saturday. It was found dismantled and burned 3 days later. Today's Black History Month sports moment. On February 4th, 2007, Two black head coaches faced each other in the Super Bowl for the first time in NFL history. Tony Dungy led the Indianapolis Colts to a 29-17 win over the Chicago Bears, who were coached by Lovie Smith. Dungy was also the first black head coach to win a Super Bowl. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Climate is king.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that caring for the community means caring about the climate. You might have heard that we announced a pretty bold 12-month, $2 million campaign to do 4 things. Increase climate literacy, turn up the volume on communities of color in the climate conversation, connect everyday people with the resources they need to survive and thrive, and highlight frontline climate justice crusaders of color throughout this year. KBLA Talk 1580 will be bringing you insightful interviews on all of our shows to help raise your climate IQ. Each quarter this year, we will also be hosting free climate events in various communities throughout the city with food, fun, and forward-thinking conversations. Thanks to partners like LADWP, Metro, Caltrans, the Sierra Club, the California Community Foundation, the California Endowment, AQMD, MWD, and more. You'll also be hearing more about a couple of national town halls broadcasting live from Los Angeles, to which you will be invited. And we'll be rolling out a robust social media campaign on all our platforms, as well as an outdoor media campaign, all designed to educate, enlighten, and empower you in our fight for climate justice.
We want cleaner air.
Caring about the community means caring about the climate. At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe that we really can change the world if we care enough. This is KBLA Talk 1580, home of the 2024 Climate Justice Campaign. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Single Moms Planet is a nonprofit organization dedicated to uplifting under-resourced single mom business owners and working mothers nationwide. Single Moms Planet offers comprehensive programs of financial literacy, business development, mentorship, and entrepreneurial training. They provide education, accountability, and hope. Single Moms Planet was founded by model, TV personality, and producer Nefertiri Plessy. Nefertiri felt firsthand the challenges that face single moms as she was raised by a working single mother. She learned that the most disadvantaged group in the United States are single mom families. According to the U.S. Census, 30% live under the poverty line. So she decided to do something about it, along with co-founder Cole Patterson. Their goal is to end the poverty cycle in single mother households through education, opportunity, and networking, providing family and child enrichment programs for under-resourced single-parent families. Single Moms Planet serves over 10,000 single moms and their children each year. Studies show that business development and financial literacy provide a positive environment for children and families, exposing them to new possibilities and opportunities. To attend one of their fun events, make a donation, or get more information, or if you need help as a single mom, please visit singlemomsplanet.org. That's singlemomsplanet.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
Back on the Friday edition, it's Avi Bernard with you, and I'm pleased to be joined by the host of KBLA's Black in the Green Room. It's Keith Underwood. Keith, welcome.
Hey, what's up, Avi? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Man, I have no complaints at all.
And we are very grateful to have you here for this discussion because, you know, I got to shout out Wifey. She sent me this really interesting take on what Shannon Sharpe said about, you know, Beyonce not being able to have the same effect on the NFL that Taylor Swift has had. So first, let me back up and just, if in case people didn't hear it, let you know what Shannon Sharpe said. So Shannon Sharpe favorably compared Taylor Swift to Michael Jackson and suggested that no other artist would be capable of having that impact. He said the attention that she brings and the people, the eyes that she brings that don't even watch the game of football, it's crazy what she's been able to do for the NFL. And that's what Chad Johnson, his co-host on Club Shay Shay said. And Shannon said, tell the other person that's going to do that. And he added that she's reportedly brought in $331 million in value to the NFL so far. And then Chad Johnson said Beyonce. And then Shannon said, no, not like this. These 8 to 15-year-old eyeballs. He said, I love Beyonce, but Beyonce ain't moving the needle like this. She's the closest thing to moving the needle like Michael Jackson that we've seen, talking about Taylor Swift. And then Johnson, Ocho told him, reel it back in a little bit. And he said that Beyonce is capable of moving the needle, if not more. And then Shannon Sharp said, not like Taylor. I mean, she's a different animal. Beyonce is phenomenal. But he said that the NFL would rather have Taylor Swift perform rather than Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Rihanna combined. So before we get into this interesting take on that was made by an attorney named Kamara Williams, who I actually spoke to today, and he'll probably be on the show soon. But let's. I just want to get your take on what Shannon said overall. What was your top line reaction to that?
Yeah, well, initially, I don't understand why people can't be phenomenal just for what they do and they have their own lane, why there has to be a comparison in the first place. If you enjoy Taylor Swift, then you groove to Taylor Swift. If you love Beyonce, then you roll with Beyonce. But she will forever be our icon. And black folks, we have to start rallying around and supporting and lifting up our black performers, especially black men when we're speaking of women. We always have to put them up on a pedestal. And not just because, but also if the talent is there and it's being exhibited, if the sales are there, if the popularity is there, the trend setting is there, we have to always lift them up. Now, we're talking about two football players now that we're having this conversation. I'm going to leave that there. Y'all think about that. And with that, though, also, I think Shannon has tried to kind of, clarify his comments, a little bit, more. And was saying that, he was specifically speaking about the NFL's, viewpoint and how they see it as opposed to it being just his own personal opinion. So those are my initial, thoughts on it. We always have to lift up, our own. We always have to do that because we don't want to diminish anybody's value, especially within our own eyes or the eyes of, our kids or the people that are coming up behind us.
Yeah, I mean, my initial reaction was, why is this necessary? I mean, kind of like you. I mean, like, what? Why are you just? So Beyonce was brought up by Chad Johnson, right? So Shannon Sharp said, no one can move the needle like this. And then Ocho said, well, if Beyonce can, she can probably move it more. And so Shannon's reaction was, well, no, she can't. And so I know they're having like an impromptu conversation about it, but I don't get why you'd have a retort to that. And I like Shannon Sharp. I think he does a great job.
Absolutely.
I just don't. I can't roll with them on this one. But let me get into this. I wanted to break this down with you because it's just some really fascinating points. And you're someone who comes from the music industry, and you have a history in the music industry, and so I think I really want to get your take on some of these things. So this commentator Kamara Williams said Beyonce literally changed the music industry. People release on Fridays because of her, including Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Her concerts are experiences designed to celebrate individuality, diversity, and uniformity. Not only did people show up wearing silver and black just because her album aesthetic was presented in this format, but did you not notice fashion companies in 2023 created an overabundance of silver and black ensemble pieces? You think that was coincidence? So let's start with that. Beyonce literally changed the music industry. People release on Fridays because of her, including Taylor Swift. You said you were nodding along to that one. So what do you talk to me about that?
Yeah, well, I think that Beyonce's influence on culture is undeniable, even within her peers. I mean, that's evident. But more importantly, okay, we know the facts. But more importantly, we're talking about two different animals. And I didn't mean that literally, y'all.
Of course,
what I mean is that Beyonce is that Beyonce is married to Jay-Z. Taylor Swift is in a relationship with an NFL player. Now, if we were to go by influence based upon who you're dating or who you're married to, I think Beyonce had a huge influence on hip-hop, made it even more universal when she got with Jay-Z. And Taylor, and so then if Beyonce, if she were with a baller and that she was at the games, maybe that same needle would move in the same way that we're seeing with Taylor Swift. Just like when Beyonce and Jay-Z show up at ball games, at basketball games. We see them on camera all the time. We see the paparazzi there. But that's just not the case. So Beyonce's influence is undeniable, even amongst her peers. We're talking about, two separate things. And I think where Shannon made the mistake was trying to compare the two. Although Ocho Cinco brought it into the conversation by saying, oh, well, Beyonce could. Well, these are two men that are sharing their opinions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so the writing goes on to say that Beyonce's choice to make music that centers primarily on the Black experience and outlook was a bold statement because she decided that artistry was more important than album sales. She could have done a ton of big pop hits like Single Ladies that were easily digestible, but she chose to make music that was unquestionably Black. Starting with her self-titled album, and none of her albums sound the same because she is not chasing trends or ears. She is chasing her vision. Michael and Prince are the only other artists who this writer said he can think of who shunned their previous works for a new sound. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, in some ways, and let me clarify. Beyonce is elevating the Black experience, and she's still able to make her money by elevating the Black experience. And that's why, again, when a Black man especially is talking about a scenario like the one that was laid before him, you have to uplift the Black woman. You have to, because then it's for the culture. I don't care how you feel in the back recesses of your mind, but you should never get on a public platform and make a statement as bold as that, because that's helping to elevate the culture, what Beyonce is embracing and doing with her music now.
Exactly, man, and Beyonce has made me a fan. I mean, because of these things, because of the way she makes her music, and she does focus on Black issues, and she just has so many good songs, and we'll play one of them when we come forward here. Just a couple I can think of off the top of my head. Black Parade is a great one. Brown Skin Girl off the Lion King soundtrack is amazing. But she does. She really does highlight the Black experience and makes it a point to do so. And I'm with you.
And Avi, excuse me, really quickly.
No, yeah, go for it.
And if we build it, they will come.
That.
So what
right.
You know what I mean by that, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I
So
do.
if Black folks, if we create it and we talk about our experience, then the mass market always gravitates towards it. There's sometimes I'm rolling down the street and I hear somebody blasting a hip hop song. I think I'm getting ready to roll up on somebody that I'm getting ready to nod my head and say, "Hey, yo, what's up?" Oh, okay, my bad.
I'm with you, man. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So when we come forward, though, Keith, I want to talk about whether Beyonce and Taylor Swift are peers. Are they even peers? And so and if you want to get involved in this conversation, 800-920-1580 is the number to call. 800-920-1580 is the number to call. Let's get back into it when we come forward right here on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's the real deal in real time. You're listening to Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
You're all set with your Medicare prescriptions, Mrs. Brown.
This is not just low-cost copays at Walgreens.
I can actually help you set up 90-day refills if you want.
This is having a partner you can trust. Get low-cost copays, 90-day refills, and delivery from your neighborhood Walgreens. This is being independent. Together. Walgreens.
Restrictions apply. For details, see walgreens.com/pharmacy.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in store. And now save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. Ends Monday. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment. LA's 99 neighborhood councils form the grassroots level of the Los Angeles city government. The system was created to connect LA's diverse communities to City Hall. While neighborhood council board members are volunteers, they are also public officials elected to office by the members of their community. Neighborhood councils advocate on issues like homelessness, housing, land use, emergency preparedness, public safety, parks, transportation, and sustainability. They also provide local expertise on the delivery of city services to their various communities. Neighborhood councils are open to participation by anyone who is a part of the fabric of daily life in said community. This includes those who live, work, or own property or a business. If you are interested in stepping up to join your local neighborhood council, visit www.empowerla.org. That's empowerla.org. It's time to think globally, but act locally. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Got me a damn girl on my team.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we believe we have the best tag team in morning radio. Dominique DePrima and Tavis Smiley as the first black woman in Los Angeles to anchor a morning drive talk radio show. Dominique covers local politics like a blanket. Weekday mornings from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., Dominique passes the baton to Tavis Smiley, who talks to everybody about everything every day until 12 noon. KBLA's dynamic duo, Dominique and Tavis. It's no wonder the LA Civil Rights Department is honoring Dominique DePrima this year at its Tell Our Story honoring black journalist leaders and storytellers event, Thursday, February 8th. Or that the John M. Langston Bar Association of Los Angeles is honoring Tavis Smiley at its 47th Annual Installation and Scholarship Awards Gala with its Community Impact Award on February 10th. We couldn't be more proud of Dominique and Tavis, who make black history every day, not just in February. If you're missing Dominique and Tavis weekday mornings on KBLA Talk 1580, you're missing out. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
Holla, yeah.
There's no time like the present. Let's get back to more of Areva Martin in real time on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm going back to the south. I'm going back where my roots ain't watered down. Growing like a baobab tree of life on fertile ground. My ancestor put me on game, on charm, on gold chains, with my old shoon energy. Drip all on me. Uncle that she keep it. Hola, Donna, Stella, Sacha, nah, chopper, instant. Yeah, pure ice, bust down, flood it, on my wrist out. Going up, motherland, drip on me. Melanin, my drip is skin deep like motherland, drip on me. I can't forget my history is her story. Yeah. In black, maybe that's the reason why they always mad. Yeah, they always mad. Been past them, I know that's the reason why they all be mad, and they always have. Honey, come around my way, around my eye. Whenever mama says so, mama said, here I come on my throne, sitting high. Follow my parade. Talking slick to my
Love that one right there. That's Black Parade by Beyonce. Talking to Keith Underwood, host of KBLA's Black in the Green Room. So, we're talking about the comparison Shannon Sharp made to between Taylor Swift and Beyonce. Let's bring in. We have Daryl on the line. Daryl, what's on your mind?
Hey, good evening, guys. I just can't believe Shannon would fix his lips to say that.
But maybe since he made so much money on that Cat Williams, he's saying, well, shit, if I say something about black folks, maybe I'll get a little more money. But to me, this is just to me, my humble opinion, I feel that whole, he's probably been, I don't know, traumatized or something by the whiteness, because white people are in fear of their existence and their relevance. You know, that's why they came. Remember a couple of years ago, they said that Justin Timberlake brought sexy back or whatever the hell. This dude can't bring nothing back. It wasn't his again from the beginning. But Taylor Swift cannot compare to Beyonce. She's just a freaking. I think that they pump Taylor Swift so much, and I honestly don't think that she can generate that much cash in football. She might can do it in album sales, but again, there's no relevance. If a little kid is watching Taylor Swift, she want to see her sing. She don't want to see her watch her boyfriend play football, unless she got it like that. But I don't see how that can compare to Beyonce. I believe that if she would have, if anything, Taylor Swift she's like an industry plant to counter Beyonce, because they know that black people are exceptional. When they're exceptional, like Beyonce, like Michael Jackson, they still pissed about Michael Jackson being the king of pop. If they believe that, if they won't become relevant. I mean, we dominate sports, and if we dominate entertainment as well, but they have to counter with something to maintain their level of existence and their superiority complex that they have. There's no way that Taylor Swift, I never even listened to one of her songs, but how could she be more? And Beyonce is so versatile. You know, her music, like you were saying earlier, it sounds different. Taylor it's just consistent Taylor. It's nothing out of the ordinary. All her songs sound basically the same, at least the little bits and pieces I've heard. I just wanted to throw that in there. I know it's towards the end of the show.
All right, Daryl, appreciate the time. Thanks for calling in and for your perspective. So I do got to stand up for Shannon Sharpe a little bit. I don't think he's Trumpified. I think Shannon Sharpe. I think he's a pretty down to earth dude. He has good takes most of the time. I mean, he may have been a little off on this one, but I mean, I can't chastise Shannon, man. He seems like a real dude to me. From what I can tell, I don't know him, but do you have any response to what Daryl said there, Keith?
Yeah, I mean, I can see his point in some ways. I just think, my fellow Unc, just maybe, he just got kind of caught up in the moment, just kind of, got up on a little ramble, and, maybe what he was pouring underneath the desk, might have.
He does have some high quality alcohol on set of his show. He does have that.
Exactly, and with higher quality means higher proof.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, man.
Stronger alcohol.
So in some ways, I definitely can agree. I don't think that it's on a conspiracy, level. I think that when opportunity presents itself, though, to elevate one over the other, of course, they would like to see a role model that's more in line with those typical, values. But yeah, as far as comparing the two, are they peers? But there's two different things. It's how I look at it.
Well, let me bring this before we go there, Keith. I want to just say what this this attorney Kamar Williams said about them being peers. He said the wild thing is Beyonce and Taylor are not even peers. Taylor is a young single white woman with no kids dating an NFL star. They are not peers in age, life status, or music. Comparing a young white woman to an older black woman is weird in and of itself. Beyonce is a married mother of 3 in her 40s, still shifting industry and making trends. It's not comparable. Children and adults alike dress like Beyonce every Halloween. All right, so sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just want to get that in there.
No. I was actually just getting ready to go there. So you saved me some breath, obviously. So yeah, no, I totally agree with that. They're at different points in their lives and their careers, and then even with the music. So in that sense, No, they are not. They are not peers. And like he said, Beyonce continues to move the needle and continues to influence. Taylor's a little newer on the scene. And if you like Taylor Swift, like Taylor Swift. If you like Beyonce.
You can like them both.
But there's also,
you can also like them both.
That's right. That's right. You can like them both. But again, brothers, especially mature black man, let's always support and uplift our sisters.
And we're just about out of time, Keith. But Andy did say that he made the comparison to Eminem, and Eminem said in his own song, "If I wasn't white, I wouldn't have sold half." And so I said that it's a little different because it's hip hop, but and maybe Shannon Sharp was just making a point that because America is mostly white, that mostly white people or people will kind of get to have it take to Taylor Swift more. I mean, maybe that's all he was saying. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that's the unsaid part. Especially when he, was walking it back a little. That was the unsaid part when he was talking about, the audience and that, they already have. I think Chad or Shannon said that they already have the Beyonce and Jay-Z audience for the NFL. So now they want to attract more of a Taylor Swift audience. So that was kind of the pullback, on the statement that it was more about the business of the NFL as opposed to comparing the two stars.
All right, Keith, before we run out of time, talk to me in 20 seconds about Black in the Green Room and when people can catch it.
Yeah, Black in the Green Room. It is your spot for real talk about entertainment with entertainers, creators, and showbiz professionals. We are on KBLA Talk 1580 every Saturday night at 9 p.m., and then we rebroadcast that show at Sundays at 8 p.m. This weekend, we have Takara Williams, who's on the Cat Williams tour. Speaking of Cat Williams, is on the Cat Williams tour. She's also the new host of the CW show, Totally Funny Kids. We're going to have a fantastic conversation. So everybody tune in this weekend, every weekend, if you want some real talk about entertainment with the people that are actually doing it.
Appreciate you so much, Keith. We are out of time. The Raw Report with Robin Ayers is coming up next. Have a great weekend. I'm Avi Bernard, and I am gone.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Tyreek Wynn. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Netflix is teasing new shows and films that are set to be released this year. The streaming giant dropped a teaser trailer on Thursday that features first looks at upcoming movies and TV shows. Fans are able to get a first look at new seasons from existing series like Squid Game, Outer Banks, and Bridgerton. Netflix also showed footage of upcoming films like the Keira Knightley-led Black Doves, Beverly Hills